Welcome to the 10-year anniversary of TightlinesUV. We couldn't be prouder for where we started in a garage to what we feel like is the ultimate tackle through vision concepts, through vision innovation, researching, from taking research at an analytical level and moving that into the tackle that you see at national retail, and really partnering up with some of the best companies in the world to distribute tackle. And we couldn't be more proud to see the company that's evolved in the last 10 years. So where'd we start out? I think that Tightlines evolved from, rattles were built in the 70s, we came up with scent technology in the 80s. And then all of a sudden, really, there was a gap there with no technology bloom in the fishing industry. And so Tightlines focused 100% on the vision of fish. Fish don't bite what they don't see. We spent almost 3 years focusing on how do fish see. And you've also got to parallel that with, what's indigenous to the water that these fish feed on. And what we noticed right away, these bait fish, they reflect low frequency light in the water. We studied them at night when you can eliminate all that sunlight that's out there. We also studied them in the lab. We went into deep water, we went into shallow water. We studied the water column to say, hey, there's not that much light in deep water. Nobody'd ever told anglers that there's no light in deep water. We're the company that came in and said, natural light, the colors dissipate, red goes out at 1 to 3 feet. And why do guys fish blue-black? Because it's the only color there at 15 feet. Those are just natural colors. And from that, we really dialed in and dove into all this experimentation that led to the exact colors down to the nanometer of the colors that we still build in the same baits that we do today. We patented the UV component that you find in our tackle. The other thing we figured out is, not only to build this color into plastisol, which goes into the body of our baits, we figured out how to put these colors into silicone. And why? It was a challenge. It took us 3 or 4 years in order just to figure out how to do that. Once you're able to get that color base of the UV, which is so bright, into that silicone, we were able to come up with what we call a whisker bait. So now you've got a bait that's a much bigger target, so that no matter where you're at in the water column, you've got a bait that shows up so that fish see it, and if they see it, they're more likely to bite it. And we feel that's extremely important. Besides vision, let's talk sound. Tightlines has some of the most unique ultrasonic equipment. We can go down and listen to the same sounds that fish hear. So we can hear, the human ear can hear at about 15,000 hertz. And let's take a bass, they can hear at about 40,000. So roughly, that bass hears 3 times better than we do. So we've got equipment that we can go down and we can imitate. We can take those crawfish sounds and build them into the exact rattle noise that we're looking for, and then put that rattle inside of our soft plastics. So that if we're imitating a crawfish, you get that perfect click and craw sound. Anglers ask me, what's the difference between vibration and sound? And really it's just frequency. So high frequency, it gets into sound waves. Low frequency gets into vibration, and that's the difference between their lateral line picking up the vibration and their inner ear picking up noise, okay? So Tightlines has the technology to bridge both. So when we're studying bait fish, we're putting the sensors on the tanks so that we can pick up the exact vibration that little bait fish at that size is putting off. The key is you've got to match the size to really that body vibration. And we've got the equipment and the sensors that we don't just measure that sound, we also drop down and we also measure vibration. So when you combine color with vibration, with sound and scent, ultimately we're creating the best bait that we can most possibly create to help anglers catch more fish. It's our 10-year anniversary. We got to bring in where we're going. After 10 years, we released a new color level that's even brighter, fish see better, and it's called GV. What does GV stand for? Okay, it stands for green violet. We were able to take a green color pigment and embody that into our ultraviolet color that we've been putting into tackle for the last 10 years to create another color tone. I think when anglers fish both of them, they're going to be super excited because really we've just again provided them with better ammunition so that they can go out and catch more fish. Both of these concepts were designed on the vision of fish. And fish do not bite what they don't see. And there's no doubt that TightlinesUV is the world leader in the vision of fish.